Hi, today I want to show you how to use SimVascular to load in a Parasolid model and do simple meshing. So I've launched SimVascular. I've hidden all the tabs using the work menus options to hide tabs that I'm not going to use. So I'm going to start off by going to the MeshSim tab. You'll see there's a series of sub-tabs: Mesh, Advanced Meshing, Adapt, Licenses, Discrete Model. In this case, we're just going to use the first two tabs. So we're going to use Mesh. I'm going to start by loading in a solid model. I'm going to select a solid model. In this case, this is a Parasolid model with the standard .xmt_txt extension. It's a simple cylinder. You can see it's a cylinder. Now what I want to do is just do an isotropic coarse mesh on this. So basically I'm going to start by doing the edge size, global max edge size of 1.0, absolute value, and I'm going to run the mesher. It'll give me a warning message saying it can take a long time to do anyway. Obviously this is going to be a very small mesh, so it'll be very quick. I also want to save the selected options and use the default here so that the options I'm specifying will be used to create the mesh. You can see we created a mesh with 3,433 elements. Obviously it's very coarse, as you can see from the end caps, and this is a visualization artifact where you can see that the surface rendering of the model is going in and out with the surface mesh. If I actually turned off the model right now and without displaying the mesh, you could see the entire mesh. What I want to do though is I'm actually going to deselect the visualization of the mesh, so I'm going to turn that off and just show the model. So now what I want to do is go to Advanced Meshing, and at the inflow, which I pre-named these surfaces on the Parasolid model that we loaded in, I'm going to select the inflow face. I'm going to create a slightly smaller mesh on that face. Now in this case you can see that when I use these options in the various windows here, which can be opened and closed using the plus and minus for each one of the option menus, I've chosen the inflow and I put in half size 0.5. So let's go ahead and run the mesher again. I'll go ahead and save the options. You'll see now we have 4,739 elements, and we actually have a coarser mesh at the inlet. So again, I'm going to go ahead and hide the exterior mesh. I'm going to go back to Advanced Meshing Options, and I'm going to select by pressing P over the 3D window the wall. You see it turns yellow. I'm going to go and create a boundary layer mesh with a default size of 1.0, parameters of 0.25 for this type of boundary layer mesh. Add the boundary layer mesh. You can see as I've added these options, they show up in this text window, which you can manually edit by hand if need be. I'm going to go back over. I'm going to run the mesher again. And now we have 24,789 elements. Since the last selection was the vessel wall, it's still highlighted yellow. If I go anywhere else in the 3D window and hit the letter P again, that'll deselect that so I can kind of see my mesh. And you can see, if I look at the end caps, you can see where, looking head on, I can see the boundary layer mesh has been generated on that vessel wall or the side of the cylinder at both the inlet and the outlet. So this completes the tutorial on how to create a simple mesh using a Parasolid model in SimVascular with face-based mesh refinement and boundary layer meshing. Enjoy.